Hi friends. So once again, my computer part of trying to use my math link, I can get the page open now and it's all white. It's like the worst thing ever. So over the weekend, I'm hopefully going to get a chance to play around with it and figure out what's going on. So I will look over your homework from yesterday and let you know if I see anything really glaring or anything really kind of like, ooh, we should work on that. Okay. So let's jump in for today's practice. We're going to continue working with patterns and rules, but instead of making or following a rule, we have a rule made, and we're going to have to kind of use some details in it to continue the pattern with the rule, or use math to figure out what a certain number, what part of the pattern would be. So let's take a look at page 747 in our books. This is what we worked on today, 747. Okay, so when we are doing our work, we talked about having patterns like this one. Triangle, circle, circle. Triangle, circle, circle. So we talked about how we noticed it started to repeat because it's triangle, circle, circle, and then it's a triangle again. So the main part of our pattern are these three shapes, because then it starts to repeat. And it also tells us up here, triangle, circle, circle. That is our rule, the part that we are sticking with. And then it's going to start to repeat. Now, it's going to take us a long time to draw out to 20 of these shapes. So instead, we're going to do what they did over here. And we're going to use division. We want the 20th shape. So we're going to have 20 as our dividend. And then our divisor is going to be how many items, numbers, objects, whatever, are in our pattern or our rule. Well, since we have triangle, circle, circle, we have three things in our rule before it starts to repeat itself. So that's going to be our divisor. Now, I'm thinking through, and I'm going to turn this into a box so I can do a long division. I'm thinking through how many threes can go into 2. Well, 0. So that's 0, subtract, and we get 2. All right, and I'm going to just scribble this guy out and then say 20 over here. All right, so how many threes can go into 20? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 is too big, so 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. And then we're going to subtract. 20 minus 18 is 2. So if I ever have a remainder, then I count through my pattern until I get to that number. So this would be the first shape. This would be second. And we landed on 2 with our remainder. So that means our 20th shape would be a circle. Because we had a remainder. We count through our pattern to see what shape, number, object is at that spot. Because if we look up here for this one, we did division with 100 and it had 4 numbers. Well, we knew that could go in 25 times, and we have nothing left over. So we know that the 100th number means we would count through our pattern 25 times, and we don't have anything left. Whenever you don't have any remainders, that number is always going to be the last one in your rule or your pattern. That's how they know the 100th number is 7, because we've gone 25 times all the way through. So that's 1, 2, 3, all the way through to 25 times we would land on that last number all the way through of a 7. All right, so looking at this one, we also did some problems where you had to write the next 3 numbers with the rule. So this time, we're not doing like multiply by 3 or anything. We just have these numbers. Think of it more as a pattern. 9, 2, 7, 6. So we have 9, 2, 7, 6. Well, just like with our triangle and circles, when we got to the end, it repeated. So then we start over. 9, 2, 7, 6. That's the end of our pattern. So what would these next three numbers be? If you notice, it would restart. So the next three numbers should be 9. That's a 9. Well, it's a bad 9. A 9, a 2, and a 7. Good. All right, so we worked on solving problems 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in class. They're a lot of the same as these two, trying to figure out what the next three in that sequence would be, or using division to figure out which one would be that certain number. So pause the video while you try these 6 problems and unpause when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, so you notice here our pattern is square, triangle, square. That's the end. Like we talked about, whenever a pattern ends, it has to restart. So we would have a square, triangle, next would be a square. And that's the end of our pattern. So the next one would be a square because it restarts, and then a triangle. All right, so this time we have up, down, left, right. So now we have an up. The next one would be down, then left, and our last one should be a right. All right, so now we have our rule 1, 1, 2. So whenever we look through, we should see that 1, 1, 2. Then it resets 1, 1, 2. That's the end of it. So our next one should be 1, 1, 2. All right, so now we're going to continue that rule. 5, 7, 4, 8. We have new numbers, 5, 7, 4, 8. So we have to figure out what one's missing. Well, we have 5, 7, 4, 8. 5, 7, 4, 8. 5, 7, 4. All right. This time we had to figure out our rule is tree, apple, apple. Also known as we have 3 different parts. We're trying to figure out the 19th shape. So if we do some, that's really bad, but I don't know what I'm doing. All right, we're just going to try this all over. All right. 19 divided by 3. Well, 3 can't go in, so we're left with 1. All right, so now we have 19. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Oh, yeah, 6 times. 6 and 19 minus 18, we get 1 as a remainder. Now we're going to use that remainder to help us. So we'd go all the way through 6 times, and then 1. So the 19th shape is a tree. All right, now we had to do this for 42. And we had only 2 numbers this time, 1 and 2. 2 can go into 4 2 times. Nothing left over. That can go in 1 time. No remainders. So we go all the way through and we stop. So the 42nd number should be a 2. All right. Remember, you can always rewatch it if you need, okay? You can always rewatch it. Your homework is page 749 and 750, 1 through 8 on the first side. Okay, read the directions carefully. Number 10 on the back, and 13. I will tell you 13 says select all, so that means there's more than one choice. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, take care.